Good morning, students. Today, our topic is electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell and electrolysis. Now, see, all of you are very familiar with this term electrolysis. What is electrolysis? Electrolysis is just the opposite of the electrochemical cell. Here in electrolysis, we pass the current, we pass the electricity through the molten state or aqueous solution of electrolyte, and there is a chemical change. So, please note the definition of this electrolysis. The process of decomposition of an electrolyte when electric current is passed through either its aqueous solution or molten or fused state is known as electrolysis. Now, electrolytic cell is what? The device in which electrolysis is carried out is known as electrolytic cell. This is complete diagram of the electrolysis. Now see, this is the container. This container is known as electrolytic tank. This is electrolytic tank. In this, fused or aqueous solution of electrolyte is taken and two metallic electrodes. Those electrodes may be of platinum or some other metal. But if the electrode you want that the electrode should be inert, then you have to take the platinum electrode. Now two electrodes are there inside this fused or aqueous solution of electrolyte, and these two electrodes are connected with a battery. Mind it, this is a battery. This is positive pole of the battery and this is negative pole of the battery. Now, we are going to check which one is anode and which one will be cathode. Already in previous lecture I have told that anode is that electrode where oxidation takes place and cathode is that electrode where reduction takes place. Now just there is example of electrolysis of molten NaCl. Suppose you have taken molten NaCl, then NaCl liquid here, because why molten is required? Because in solid state the ionic compounds are bad conductor of electricity, so either molten or aqueous solution is required. In molten state, NaCl liquid gives Na plus liquid plus Cl minus liquid. Now, at cathode, see in this figure, at cathode, there is, because cathode is negatively charged, so positive ion attracts towards cathode. So at cathode, Na plus comes, it gains the electron and it is converted to sodium liquid, and this is reduction. It means the electrode where reduction takes place is known as cathode, and here cathode is negatively charged. Just it is opposite of the electrochemical cell. Now at anode, Cl minus goes to anode, it loses electron and converted to Cl2 gas. Here it is oxidation. One point is noted here. Anode cathode, cation loving electrode, Na plus is cation. Since Na plus cation goes to cathode, so it is cation, and anion goes to anode, so it is anion. Now, this point is useful for solving numerical. Later on, I will explain about the solution of the problems. Charge on 1 mole of electron is what? 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So that value will be 96,500 coulomb, and that is equal to 1 Faraday. Now, so to reduce 1 mole of Na plus, the charge required is 1 Faraday. That is 96,500 coulomb. Now, Our next topic is product of electrolysis. Now, product of electrolysis. The previous topic is also the topic of product of electrolysis. But in previous topic, I have explained what are the product of electrolysis when electrolysis is carried out of molten NaCl using platinum electrode. In that previous topic, we have seen that at cathode Na solid is released and at anode Cl2 gas is released when we do electrolysis of molten NaCl. But this is surprising that when electrolysis of aqueous solution of NaCl is done using platinum electrode, I mean inactive electrode, then what is the result? First focus on result. What is the result? At cathode, we are expecting that sodium should be released, but no, here H2 gas is released at cathode. And at anode, Cl2 gas is released. This is the result of the electrolysis of aqueous solution of NaCl using platinum electrode. Now, go to the explanation. Why it happens? Now, at cathode, what are the probability? The probability are Na plus may reduce, H plus may reduce. Because NaCl gives Na plus Cl minus, water has H plus and OH minus. So there are two variety of cation, Na plus as well as H plus. Both cation run to the cathode. There is competition between both. Now Na plus 1 electron gives Na solid. Here E naught red is equal to minus 2.71 volt. H plus 1 electron gives half H2 gas. E naught red is equal to 0.00 volt. Now see, the reaction with higher value of E naught red is preferred at cathode. Already know this 0 is higher than minus 2.71 volt. Therefore, the reaction take place at cathode is H plus 1 electron gives half H2 gas. Suppose this is equation number 1. Now, we get H plus, but H plus is produced by dissociation of water. So, H2O liquid gives H plus aqueous plus OH minus aqueous. This is equation number 2. Now, the net reaction at cathode is what? You add both the reaction. Then, what will be the net? H2O liquid plus 1 electron gives half H2 gas plus OH minus aqueous. This is the reaction which will be at cathode. Now come to the anode. What are the probability? There are two type of anion. There is a reduction of Cl minus as well as reduction of water. Oxidation of Cl minus and oxidation of water, both are possible. There are two probability. So Cl minus aqueous gives half Cl2 gas plus 1 electron, and this inert rate is equal to plus 1.36 volt. Now oxidation of water is 2H2O liquid gives O2 gas plus 4H plus aqueous plus 4 electron, and here inert rate is equal to 1.23 volt. Now here it is the key point. Already here we have seen at cathode those reactions are preferred which has higher value of inert rate, but at anode those reactions are preferred which has a lower value of inert rate. Mind it, this is a very confusing point. So all students are advised to focus and concentrate here. This is the peculiar point. The reaction with lower value of inert rate should be preferred. It means, what is your guess? Your guess is, sir, O2 gas should be released at anode because this reaction is having lower value of inert rate. But overpotential, a new term is here, overpotential. But overpotential in case of O2 is quite high. Overpotential is quite high, so the reaction 3 will be preferred. It means release of Cl2 gas is preferred at anode. Now, what is overpotential? Again, there is a new term for you. Please listen carefully. Overpotential is some reactions are which are kinetically very slow, require an extra potential to proceed the reaction, are known as overpotential. It means on the basis of E naught rate, already you know delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught. So on the basis of that, on the basis of E naught rate, the oxidation of water should be preferred, but it is suffering from a problem, and that problem is overpotential problem. So overpotential means the reaction which are kinetically very slow, require extra potential to proceed, are known as overpotential problem. So the release of Cl2 gas is preferred at anode. Here, nearly 15 years back, or you can tell 20 years back, in NCERT there was no the term overpotential. When in the beginning, when I have started my teaching, at that time there was a term. I was the teacher who was explaining that the E naught rate value, this is the old technique, the E naught rate value of these both are comparable. So if the solution is dilute, then O2 gas is released at cathode, and if solution is concentrated, Cl2 gas is released at anode. So it means in the beginning, nearly 20 years back, I was the teacher who was telling that by electrolysis of the very dilute solution of aqueous solution of NaCl using platinum electrode, O2 gas is released at anode, and by electrolysis of concentrated aqueous solution of NaCl, Cl2 gas is released at anode. That was the old concept. But here the latest concept is the overpotential problem. So again, in the next topic I will explain that what is the effect of concentration on the product of electrolysis. So now see, now come to the note. Now the net reaction is what? NaCl aqueous gives Na plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous. So at cathode, what happens? H2O liquid plus electron gives half H2 gas plus OH minus aqueous. At anode, Cl minus aqueous gives half Cl2 gas plus electron. So add this equation, both will be cancelled out. Then the three equation, add the three equation, will get net reaction is NaCl aqueous plus H2O liquid gives Na plus aqueous plus OH minus aqueous plus half H2 gas plus half Cl2 gas. Now what beauty you see? Here the solution become basic. Alkaline solution we are getting when the electrolysis of aqueous solution of NaCl is carried out. There is very good question that what happens to what is the nature of the solution of electrolyte when electrolysis of aqueous solution of NaCl is carried out. Your answer is the solution of electrolyte become basic and the pH is greater than 7. That type of question may be asked, and this method is used during production of sodium hydroxide from brine. Okay. Now we are coming to the next topic. Now here, effect of concentration of aqueous solution of electrolyte on product of electrolysis. Now in this topic we are going to focus is some change in product of electrolysis when concentration of electrolyte is changed.
So according to Nernst equation, already you know, when concentration of electrolyte is changed, the electrode potential also changed. So here we are going to explain one example, and this example is electrolysis of dilute H2SO4 using platinum electrode. Here H2SO4 aqueous gives 2H plus aqueous plus sulfate SO4 2 minus aqueous. So at cathode H plus, because here is only H plus, because in water it is also H plus. So at cathode H plus plus 1 electron gives half H2 gas. At anode oxidation of water takes place, and oxidation of water is preferred. So at cathode 2H2O liquid gives O2 gas plus 4H plus aqueous plus 4 electron. It means, what is the net situation here? Here the net situation is, during electrolysis of dilute H2SO4, H2 gas is released at cathode and O2 gas is released at anode. Now if electrolysis of concentrated H2SO4 is carried out, then at cathode there is no problem, only H2 gas is released. But at anode, in comparison to oxidation of water, oxidation of sulfate ion is preferred, because concentration is very high, availability of sulfate ion is very high. So 2SO4 2 minus aqueous gives H2O8 2 minus aqueous plus 2 electron. Now what we observe here, already I have told in beginning of my career, I was explaining that both electrode potentials are same if concentration is more than Cl2, gas is released, concentration is less, O2 is released. Here the situation is nearly same, and NCERT agrees with this. If the concentration of H2SO4 is less, then O2 gas is released. If concentration of H2 gas is more, then H2O8 2 minus aqueous is released. Now the next topic is product of electrolysis. Product of electrolysis. Electrolysis when the electrode is same metal as same metal of electrolyte. What happens? Now I take example. Electrolysis of aqueous solution of CuSO4 using copper electrode. Now see, if electrolysis of copper sulfate is done using platinum electrode, so naturally on cathode copper is deposited and at anode O2 gas is released. But if electrolysis of aqueous solution is done using copper electrode, this is active electrode, then at anode Cu solid gives U2 plus aqueous plus 2 electron. Oxidation of copper takes place. And at cathode Cu2 plus aqueous gives U solid plus 2 electron gives U solid. This reaction takes place. What we get? The net reaction is 0. If we add both the reaction, the net reaction is 0. It is used for electrolytic refining. Already in class 10 you have read. how the copper is refined. What we have taken in class 10, we have taken this is copper, this is impure copper, is it? Impure copper we have taken, and this is pure copper, and this is aqueous CuSO4. So what happens? Here pure copper deposited on cathode. So this technique, this method is used during electrolytic refining. Now in your NCERT there is a question. This is 3.18. This is homework, theoretical homework for you. 3.18. 3.18. Here you have seen. Question number 1. This is an aqueous solution of AgNO3 using silver electrode. Now, what is the answer of this? Aqueous solution of AgNO3 using silver electrode. The same technique is there. So, at anode, silver is oxidized. At cathode, Ag plus is reduced. That will be the answer. Now, second, an aqueous solution of AgNO3 using platinum electrode. So, at cathode, we get silver, and at anode, we get oxygen. And third and fourth. Third question is dilute solution of H2SO4 using platinum electrode. Already I have given. An aqueous solution of CuCl2 using platinum electrode. The answer is at cathode, Cu is deposited, at anode, Cl2 gas is released. Now, this is the point. Now come to the tips. In one line answer is, if see the electrochemical series, now see, please focus here. I am giving some tips, and the tips is, now look this. In electrochemical series, reduction potential of water, H2O, 2H2O plus 2 electron gives H2 gas plus 2H minus, and this value is minus 0.83 volt. It means the metal whose inert rate value is less than minus 0.83 volt, and that metal is what? Aluminum, magnesium, sodium, calcium, potassium, and lithium. If you do electrolysis of aqueous solution of their salt using platinum electrode, then at cathode we cannot get the metal. At cathode we always get hydrogen gas, because in preference of oxidation of this, in preference of reduction of this metal, the reduction of water is preferred. Now, the metal whose inert rate value is higher than minus 0.83 volt, if you do electrolysis of aqueous solution of their metal like zinc, chromium, iron, tin, lead, silver, copper, any. So, during electrolysis of aqueous solution of the electrolyte of aqueous solution of the salt of those type of metal at cathode using platinum electrode, always we get metal. But again focus here, but the metal whose inert rate value is less than inert rate of water. Please make your note. Inert rate of water, that is minus 0.83 volt. Then if we do electrolysis of aqueous solution of their compound, then at cathode reduction of water is preferred in comparison to the reduction of diet metal. It means, suppose already I have explained electrolysis of aqueous solution of NaCl, electrolysis of aqueous solution of aluminum,
electrolysis of aqueous solution of AlCl3 like that, CaCl2 like that, KCl, LiCl. So during electrolysis of this salt, aqueous solution of this salt, we will get always hydrogen on cathode, not the metal. Now this is the theoretical part. Now we are coming to the next topic, and that topic is Faraday's law. Now Faraday's law of electrolysis. Now see here, Faraday has given two laws based upon the electrolysis. Now Faraday's first law. Look, the mass of substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of charge passed through the electrolyte. Mathematically, W proportional to Q or W is proportional to IT. I is current in ampere and T is time second, or W is equal to ZIT. Now see, I equals to amperes in current, T is equal to second, Q is equal to charge, Z is equal to electrochemical equivalent. Its value depend upon nature of electrolyte. Now Faraday's second law. In Faraday's first law, electrolyte is same, only variation of electricity is there. But in Faraday's second law, electrolytes are different and electricity is same. See the beauty behind two laws. In Faraday's first law, electrolyte is same, you are varying the electricity. In Faraday's second law, electrolytes are different and the electricity is same. Then what happens to the deposition of that? Now when the same quantity of charge is passed through the solution of different electrolytes connected in series, the masses of the substance deposited at respective electrodes are directly proportional to their equivalent masses. And if equivalent mass is more, then the amount of substance deposited is more. Now suppose we are passing, you can write in your note, when we pass the same amount of electricity to the different electrolyte, and to the aqueous solution of CuSO4 as well as aqueous solution of AgNO3 connected in series, then the mass of copper deposited divided by mass of silver deposited equals to mass of copper is equal to equivalent mass of copper divided by equivalent mass of silver. Now this is some numericals are there which are for your homework. This is 3.12, 3.13, 3.14, 3.15, 3.16. So these are the numerical part, and already in theory I have given 3.18. This is theory. Be ready for this, solving this. In next class I will give some time for solving some numericals, and 2 lecture more I will take, that will be batteries and corrosion. Now this is for today. Thank you.